As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive confirmation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Good morning, all in YouTube world. I got to jump in here real quick because I've got a couple other things because we're going to be talking about two topics. This morning in preparing this, I was going to be on a completely different topic altogether. And then this story came up. So I've got to load. Actually, let me get this out. Sorry, I should have had this done, but I didn't, so I apologize about that. But there are two things that are going on that I wanted to talk to you about. One is this whole entire 100, nearly, move that back, hold on. Nearly 100 children have disappeared. It was an article that was out on May 25th. That was the National Missing Child's Day. I wasn't live. It was my dad's birthday that day. And if you guys follow me, you understand what was going on for me that day. But we're also going to discuss some things. I was watching a channel this morning. Let me see if I get the channel right. Hopefully I've already pulled it down. But there was I wish I would have subscribed to it. It was really good. It was a lady. She's got a smaller channel, but she was talking about, some things about Jody Sue and what Jody Sue was upset about. And that was actually going to be the main focus of my morning. But I decided just to do a couple of, searches and stuff like that to get any different or new relevant information related to some of these cases. And I came across this article that just shocked me. Like, I was absolutely, utterly shocked about this particular article. And it was talking about, let me pull it up here. It was talking about nearly 100 people. We're just going to go through it. 100 children that have gone missing in Massachusetts since 2022, literally since 2022. So we're just now peaking 6 months into the year. And Massachusetts has this ridiculously high missing child rate. And I just want to know, well, one, I want to bring awareness to the situation. But two, I'm curious as to what people think about this. I mean, this is pretty alarming. And granted, these photos, some of these photos are of older children. It doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure that's not all inclusive of just older children. Some of these children could very well, not be happy in home life and be a runaway. I was a runaway child myself. I was not happy, and, I did run away occasionally. Mostly to go hang out with friends and party and do stupid stuff like that. But again, it was because I wasn't focused. My home life was, a little cray-cray, and I didn't handle it very well. So at the end of the day, these are still 94 children that we don't know what is going on with them. Are they here? And actually, we're going to get into a little more alarming information with this particular article. So good morning, everybody that is in chat. I am glad to see everyone. And before we get started, and I don't want people upset with me, but I did want to show you guys a few things if I can. Oops, let me go back. If I can. Let me pull this back because I don't want to. Okay. This is. Hold on. Still working on this YouTube. Sorry, this whole entire MacBook Pro. It's been quite a bit of a learning curve. So some of you guys, I don't want anybody being upset or anything, and I'm still not sure if I'm going to remove more wrenches. Okay, it's not. If anybody loves and cares about this channel, please do not take this personally. I beg of you, do not take this personally. And here's why. So there was a text in a stream last night, and we're going to go through this stream. in just a little bit. And we're going to address some things here shortly, and it's going to be one and done. I'm going to address them, and we're going to be done with it. But this, there was a person in there that says, brand new sub, I'm a mod for BHB, and she thinks I'm her bestie. So funny. I've been collecting info for 6 months. Get her. Okay. Well, first of all, this is YouTube. What bad things are so horrible that I do on the streets of YouTube that people have to play these games? And this comes to the topic we are going to also get into as we exit out of, as we go, power down from this. So just to let you guys know, wrenches are being pulled because I don't know who that was. And quite frankly, at the end of the day, my channel does matter to me. It matters to a lot of you. And if we have a rogue mod, it could be very dangerous for this channel. So, yeah. So exactly. So for those that are in here, if you're, look, they say they're my besties. So if you're, if wrenches were removed, it's probably because I feel you're close, which is not a bad thing. That should be a compliment. But I also have a duty to protect this channel and protect the people that are in this channel. You guys don't, what's been going on is nothing short of sick, and we're going to discuss that because it has gotten to a whole level of deranged on the streets of YouTube. And I'm going to explain how. We're not going to go into it right now because I think that these children and the Jody Sue topics are a little more important. It's what people are here for. The people that are coming in from the thumbnail, not because of this drama, maybe because of this drama. But don't worry, even the people that are here because of this drama, we will be addressing it. And it's very frustrating. And I think it's very frustrating to everybody involved, not just me. So I just want to tell you guys good morning. And I wanted to explain to you, if not to have your feelings hurt. If you've done nothing wrong, it will come out in the wash. It's no big deal, no harm, no foul. Wrenches will be given back to people in due time. I'm not sure what that time will be, if that makes sense. So if you are totally butthurt and hate me because you got a wrench pulled, then I'm so very sorry about that. If you never want to come back here again, I'm sorry about that. There's nothing I can do about it. My channel, I have to protect this channel, and I have to protect it because they can block you. They can time you out unnecessarily. They can do a lot of damage. A wrench is a very important job. And when you have some vile threats like that in other chats, it makes you realize that you have to protect yourself first. If you protect yourself first, you protect the channel, you protect those that are in the channel. So I know that the majority of the people in here that do have wrenches will fully understand and not make this more than it is. It's just a protection part. And we're going to be going into that. So getting back to the 100 children, or nearly 100 children missing. I believe it's about, did I say 94 children? And we're going to read this article because, yes, we're going to read this article and discuss it. Let me just see where we are in the morning. So good morning, all. I would be reading your names, but I've got a lot of stuff to go through, and I've got an appointment this afternoon to handle some personal business. And so I don't know how long this is going to go on. I should have been at my BOCC meeting. We are having a land use meeting right now that I should be at. And land use meetings, I got to tell you, are some of the most boring county meetings. It's about the builders and other people rezoning property. It's really, really boring stuff. But it also, many of you guys probably are dealing with it in your own community. It's where, the builders are just kind of taking over and just trying to develop every square inch of usable land that they can possibly use, for profit. So when you're county, like we need a lot of growth. I put that, hands down, we need growth in this county. Many of you guys need growth. There's people just moving in all over the place and there's not enough housing. I get that. But the problem is it has to be smart growth. And so I should have been there, but I'm here with you guys. So at the end of the day. So Massachusetts, since the start of 2022, 94 children have already gone missing in Massachusetts, adding to the volumes of missing and unidentified children lost throughout the decades. While the sheer numbers of the missing can be overwhelming, the participants of Missing Children's Day at Massachusetts State House are working to make sure that the public remembers their faces and name of a child who goes missing to find answer for victims' families. This year's 21st Missing Children's Day, held virtually last week, focused on the collaboration and how relationship building between law enforcement, legislatures, the public, and the victim's family to create resources that benefit public safety. I agree with that message. And not only should this be going on in Massachusetts, it should be going on in all the states in the United States. It's no longer 50 states, folks. I think we're up to 52 states now. We've acquired other places. You know, when I was growing up, we had 50 states. That included Alaska and Hawaii. You know, now we have, Costa Rica, or don't keep track. I'm sorry, guys. Call me stupid, but I'm sorry. But this should be going on everywhere. This should be probably going on all over the world, unifying lawmakers with law enforcement, the public, and the victims. So John and Maggie Bish originally developed the event after their own daughter, 16-year-old Molly Bish, disappeared from her lifeguard post at Cummins Pond in Warren. And this was back in 2000. Her remains were discovered 3 years later. You guys heard that correct. Her remains were finally discovered 3 years later. That's important because we're dealing with a missing child, right? We're dealing with a missing child out there in Rogersville, Tennessee. And I pray to God it doesn't take 3 years to find her and put her to rest, you know, properly. Missing Children's Day 2022 in Massachusetts was held on May 18th and hosted by State Senator Ann Goby and State Representative Todd Smola, who have been taking part in the event since its development, and was hosted by Dr. Anne Marie Myers, Director of Forensic Criminology Program at Anna Maria College, who recovered Molly Bish's remains in 2003, and Melanie McLaughlin with Ed M. Product Productions, LLC. McLaughlin is an Emmy Award-winning filmmaker whose investigative documentary, Have You Seen Andy?, documents her search and answers for a childhood friend, Angelo Andy Puglisi, who disappeared from a local pool in Lawrence in August of 1976. Every year, I'm just going to skip over a few things because this is a fairly decent size article. Every year, this is the other shocking and alarming information that I found. Every year, 600,000 people, that's over 500,000 people, go missing throughout the United States, with 4,400 unidentified bodies recovered each year. So they have people that have never been reported missing, that have been recovered, and they have no way, 4,400, no way to put a name to them. That's sad. That is super, super sad. 4,400 unidentified bodies recovered each year. I guess there's some technical issues, so they're saying reopen it and try again. I'm not sure what stopped. I hope I hope everything's going well. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And we're going to get into those. We are going to have to address those because some of it I have a hand in, and I've got to address it. Good morning, Miss Robin. It's nice to see you. There, it did it again. I went just to read a comment, and it pushed it all the way up to the top, or all the way down to the bottom. So I don't even know. It could very well be. It could very well be. We're going to be discussing this, and we're going to be discussing how dangerous that game is here in just a little bit. We don't know. But an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Wouldn't you agree? Brick with eyes. We are going to address that. We're going to address that definitely today because that is some BS. It was nothing to incite but to incite more animosity. And we are going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm talking about. But while you're over here from their camp, it was somebody from your camp that put this entire thing into motion. Into motion. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Did you? I'm just curious if you, um, by chance, heard this, read this article, or even heard about this going on in Massachusetts. I agree. Absolutely. Yes, exactly. But, we got to all do our part, and my part's being there. But again, with everything that transpired, I decided to go over here. I decided to take it easy. Once this thing is dropped down, I'm going to, like I said, I've got an appointment this afternoon to handle some personal business. And hopefully soon this will all be over. And I don't think it'll ever be over. I'm on YouTube, right? These people are flipping nuts. Yeah, thank you. Yep, Puerto Rico. Yep. Yep. Did we also acquire Puerto Rico is not a state? Well, it's not a state, but we acquired it. We have now 52 states in the United States. And I don't remember. When that happened, I was out of school. So, they teach you that stuff at school. And I know I've read about it, but I didn't, since then, I haven't paid attention. People are probably on Google right now. Brick with eyes, knock it off. We will be addressing it, and you can have all the time in the world to Betty Bash at that time. Believe me. Believe me. But we are going to get some clarity as to what transpired with the situation. So stay tuned. By all means, please stay tuned. Because first of all, I didn't do any of the stuff that they said. Actually, let's just go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way so we can have everybody on the same playing field. So many of you guys know I have come out with 2 videos. There were several videos made out in YouTube world about, who the identity of burnt toast is, right? And I shared that video. And of course, by sharing that video, it intrigued my curiosity. So I went ahead and started looking into that person, right? And the more you looked into this person, the more some things just lined up. Whether it was a coincidence, whether it was, trailed, crumbs to follow, I don't know. But We'll pull this back so I can get the information up. And then we'll go back to our 100, because obviously there's just one person in here that is just aching, like literally aching for attention. So let's go ahead and just address it so they can stop. So while this tirade went on about how I created these videos, I went out there and did all these emails, all these things. Couldn't be further from the truth, by the way. I mean, many of you guys know I don't do that. Haven't done that. And actually, the things that they described, all the stuff that they described, we're going to actually play the clip. That's been happening to me every single day for 6 solid months. Every single day for 6 solid months. And while I'm on YouTube, I don't deserve it. If you don't like the content that I'm creating, it's simple. Don't watch it. I'm not in anybody's business. I don't review, so I don't bully people under the guise of reviewing. I just don't do it. I looked into some information. I put 2 videos out after the original video. 2, right? Was I wrong? Clearly, the information that was provided was inaccurate. And so I went on and I watched this entire commentary last night, which wasn't, all it was to further incite a base. That's all it was for. It wasn't to tamper down information. It wasn't to stop it. It was to further incite. And while I don't believe anybody from our camp did any of the allegations they're saying, and here's why. Because I honestly, truly believe it was somebody from their side trying to create a feud between creators because they think it's fun and funny. They've been doing it to me and my family for over 6 months. And now they are doing it to them so they can point the finger back at me. That's what it was all over. Beautiful breadcrumbs. Isn't it funny? There was a letter sent there talking about, and we're going to listen to it. BHB is going to sue you and you're going to have a knock at the door. Why in the world would I, under some fictitious name, go and threaten people with my own name? I could have used a million other names. MGL, White Boy Lockdown, Shanny. What other people have they picked on throughout this? G-Money, G-Man, whatever it may be. Like, I could have literally thought of 1,000 names other than Bullhorn Betty, right? Why in the world would I go and create and put myself in the target of them? Doesn't make sense. One thing I did notice while I was in their chat and watching their video is Louisiana whistleblower, right? I just find it awfully funny that this person is in their chat room having a good time speaking to all the people in that chat. And they were the creator of the very first video. They were the creator of the very first video. And they are sitting there in their chat having a good old time with them. This is not our people. The despicable and deplorable things that they said to those people was from people from their own damn camp, stirring the pot and trying to cause a feud. Did I get suckered? Yeah, I did. Did I get punked? Yeah, I did. But I will tell you, I don't believe not 1 ounce of me that anybody that's in this chat went this far to do all these things. Let's listen. Let's listen to what they had to go through for a few days. And this is the exact same stuff that I have been going through every single day for 6 months. 6 months.
Put that one up. Pull that one up next. And then you can get the next redacted after that lined up so that we can just go through them all. And we're gonna go kind of quick. So just start loading them up so that we can keep them moving kind of fast. And we will address every bit of all of this. So, all right. So Facebook. Oh, and I didn't redact something for me, but whatever. Desmond and his daddy, all because of you, LOL. Fuck does that mean? Show the next one, Zoe. Here it comes. And
they do have a lot of technical difficulties throughout their show.
I'm just, trying to enjoy my day and chill out.
Me too.
And then reported for child abuse. What? What does that mean? Oh, these get crazy.
Like them telling me that my grandkids are fake grandkids.
Then she reads out your toast.
Halloween and collard green. Thank you very much for the new sub. Doge, man.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. What's the next one say?
Yeah, this one says, "You're toast, buddy." And I go, "Oh."
Now, granted, this stuff here is kind of, BS. It's okay. And it was funny when it was happening to me. It was funny at first. But being pelted with it all day, every day is not cool. And that is what has happened to me for 6 solid months. 6 solid months. But I think the one that got me the most, let's see if I can find it. I think the one that got me the most was this one. And again, I don't believe anybody on this side that comes in here every day had anything whatsoever to do with any of this, including me. I put out 2 videos. That was to the extent of my culpability in this.
Really are affiliated with Burnt. Burnt is dragging your family into this. Cease and desist immediately or face legal consequences. Burnt already ruined your family reputation. Don't let her continue with this, bro.
Oh.
That's what he said. Now,
hold on. Let's go back to the beginning of it.
Credit for the appropriate use of bruh at
here.
Okay, yo, you gonna read it? Or you wait? Let me read. Let me read.
Okay. All right, read it.
Oh, I got it. Let me pull it. I'm pulling it up right now. Wait.
This is what I'm talking about. Why would I put my name in this?
Yo, Monty, what up?
This is a troll. They were trolls
hard.
Monty,
what up? You and Burnt. You and Burnt. I'm sorry. You and Burnt better cut it the F out. Bullhorn Betty knows exactly where you live. Who all your family is. Who can I say the other name?
No, don't say that name.
Okay. You and Burnt better cut it the F out. Bullhorn Betty knows exactly where you live, who all your family is, who this other person's family is. You just gonna let Burnt do you like this? Burnt has been harassing Bullhorn Betty nonstop for 6 months, using her platform to incite her followers on her. Does Burnt not care for you or Zoe or this other person? This is not a game, Monty. Sheriffs will go to your door and serve you, then serve you again and again. Bullhorn Betty is not playing with Burnt anymore. You clearly are affiliated with Burnt.
So again, that doesn't even sound like me. And why? Again, why would I put my name in something like that with all of her victims? They were trolled hard, and then they blamed me for it because I made 2 videos, yet the person that created the original video was chatting it up, had no problem chatting it up in their chat with them. Do I think that they had anything to do with it? No, I don't. But it does make me wonder who does. Who's the puppet master behind all of this? I don't think all of us want to be left alone. We want to have our drama-free zone. We want to be here and listen about cases. Was I frustrated that I got drug into it yet again? Of course I was. So I've got nothing to do with them. You know, I'm sorry that Anne Van Schoeneveld was brought into it, but to say this is all created and orchestrated by Bullhorn Betty is a crock of crap. So, and then we have this brick person in here inciting, along with a few other people. And it makes me wonder, were they the trolls? Were they the ones that orchestrated all this? We don't know. But I can tell you, I never bullied her. No, we didn't. How do you say I bullied her? Her father posted videos of her on his YouTube channel. Not Bullhorn Betty. I clipped videos just like every other YouTuber. I didn't bully her. I never wrote her. I never reached out to her. I never contacted her. I never said squat outside of some of the things, the content on their page with her as a producer. Now, mind you, she's not a young kid. She's almost an adult. I didn't know that either because I know nothing about their family, right? So while we may have some trolls, yeah, you're right, I did. But who put those pieces of the puzzle together and tried to intentionally cause a feud between people that were already feuding? This is the kind of ridiculous crap people do on YouTube. Just to incite, just to have fun. I do own it. But I'm still curious as to who put this entire thing into motion. Who? Because it wasn't Bullhorn Betty. And it's awfully funny that somebody in their chat, chatting it up and having a great time last night, has the same creator name as the original video going out. And nobody said one thing about that. And they were reading messages in that chat. Yeah, every last person was trolled. But I want to make it very clear that I have never once emailed anybody. I've never once called anybody. I've never once went on their Facebook page other than to pull some videos or photos, which I did. But I never left a heart or a comment. Those things, and I don't believe that anybody in here would do that. I really don't. Well, maybe some of the people that are coming in here just to antagonize this channel. For what reason? We cover true crime cases. So why would I care about what they're doing? Nobody ever heard, these people brought me into their mouth and into their world and into their situation when all I wanted to do was run a channel about true crime and talk about cases. That's it. That's all I've ever wanted to do. That's all. That's all I've ever wanted to do. That's all anybody in here cares about that comes and watches these. We don't get into this nonsense, but we're getting sick and tired of it. I mean, this stuff has been going on for 6 months. You know, not only that, not only have I been harassed, my viewers have been harassed. My supporters have been harassed. Nobody cares about them being the innocent victims in all of this either. They don't care. They've never cared. They only care when it starts affecting them. And it's a shame. But I want to make sure everybody knows. I've never put out emails. I've never done anything and will continue not to do anything. I'm leaving this. They said they're one and done. I'm one and done. I'm addressing this and it's done. Until I have a piece of paper in my mouth from the court telling me who this woman is, you will never hear me talk about exposing BT again. You won't. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what it's going to take. And so hence the personal matter I'm dealing with this afternoon. I've talked to my family. My family is done with this garbage. My friends are done with this garbage. So, now it's time to move to a different thing. And we're just going to have to let the chips fall where they fall. But from this point forward, Bullhorn Betty is not talking about them. Bullhorn Betty's not even going to raise BT. I don't care. I don't care. Does that mean she can just keep clubbing me over the head? No, because people are getting tired of it. I'm getting tired of it. My family's getting tired of it. We're all just about had it. I hope she moves on. I'm very doubtful. Like I'm just waiting for the 9:00 show so I can be like, seriously. This is not reviewing people. What she keeps trying to say is I review her and if she can't handle it, no. You only review me, bitch. That's it. Review someone else for the love of God. There's a lot of despicable people on YouTube. I pale in comparison to some of these people. But we'll see if she does. I doubt it. I have no faith in her. I really don't. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm no longer going to remain in this position. I've decided to move in a different direction. And again, that's all I'm willing to say. But I've had it after I realized what just happened and I saw what they put on that screen. It made me sick to my stomach. And do I honestly believe anybody here did that? I surely do not. I really do not. So that's it. We're done. We're done. They do. And that is evident based upon all the conversations they have on that page. But again, they are entitled to their opinions. They are entitled to them. They're entitled to feel and think any way that they want to. But when you go from what you perceive as First Amendment to slap, defamation, and harassment nonstop for 6 solid months, that's it's going to be kind of, I mean, if it was 1 or 2 videos, it would be different. But this is not 1 or 2 videos. This is every single day you go live. This is no longer perceived as reviewing somebody. This is pure harassment, no matter how you look at it. All she does is do everything she can to defame me and defame Bullhorn Betty. That's it. She doesn't like me. She doesn't like my name. She doesn't like who I am. She doesn't like anything about me. She doesn't like my looks. And so that's why she does what she does. That's it. And she laughs about it. She wasn't laughing with what they were going through, which is the same thing I've been going through for 6 solid months, but she doesn't care. She doesn't care. She will never care. She's a heartless, venomous woman that doesn't give a shit about herself or anybody around her. And then you know what she does when she goes too far? She points the finger at Bullhorn Betty and says, oh, she did that. No, I didn't. You did it. I didn't even know who you were. I stayed out of your business, and you drug all of us into this nonsense over your Lowe's cow bullshit. There's no one to blame in this scenario except one person, and it is not Bullhorn Betty. Absolutely. She won't listen because she's just got it in for me. I don't even know this woman. Literally have no clue who she is. Yeah, it is. It is. But I think the one thing that hurt me the worst out of all that is her yet again trying to peg me as a racist. If you guys remember me talking, now mind you, one of my son-in-laws is dead. He got killed on a motorcycle, right? Well-spoken guy, nice guy. Guess what? He's white, right? But I talk about my grandchildren from VA. And because I said that my stepdaughter's husband was well-spoken, I'm a racist because apparently I'm surprised that a Black person is well-spoken. She always tries to angle that racism garbage at me, and I'm tired of it. It couldn't be further from the truth, and manipulating my words doesn't make it so. No, she doesn't. But again, that's the last of the conversation we're going to have about BT or about her friends until I get that paper in my hand telling me exactly who she is. We will not say her name on here. I promise you. I will never, ever be drug into something like that again until I have that piece of paper in my hand. But when I do, we'll leave it at that. Absolutely. Like there must be several people that were orchestrating this entire thing, because even all the stuff that they listed, I mean, that looked like it took hours to do. Hours. I don't know. Again, not my monkey, not my circus. I don't do shit like that. I have other grown-up shit to be doing. That is childish nonsense. But again, all orchestrated by somebody that was chatting it up in their chat. And everybody seemed to like that person. And I just found that awfully odd. Yeah. And some respect. But anyways, moving back on to the topic at hand. So McLaughlin, it said missing children's case does not receive homicide investigative tools and resources until they deem it is a homicide, meaning that a missing persons case that are decades old are still unresolved until they're presented new evidence to change the case status. This is further complicating by the lack of centralized state-level database repository, which makes it hard to get accurate count of children missing through Massachusetts. This is an issue that is happening all over the country. We now know that there are many law enforcement agencies that take a missing persons case, and at a certain time, a certain cutoff, they start treating it as a homicide and start investigating it as a homicide, whether it's classified as a homicide investigation, because they want to preserve that very real evidence that they may need to use later down the road. And so, this is kind of scary, but it is true about what is going on. And the fact that in 2022, there are states that lack the centralized state level database repository is also a little concerning for me. Because in 2022, we should be having these databases. And while CSI is, fictional, the CSI Miami and stuff like that, why not start working on tread pattern databases, which they do have, treadwear, footwear databases. They do have those things. Not to the level that it's, CSI is a and another thing is like CSI, the TV shows and stuff like that, you don't get DNA. The actual forensics, they've got to speed it up because they only have like half-hour segments or hour segments, time slots and stuff like that. So they've got to speed all this stuff up. But in reality, the DNA process is a very timely process. And if you've got, let's say in a normal case, I don't know what a normal case caseload would have as far as forensic evidence. But say you had even 400 pieces, which would seem small. It sounds large, but it would seem small. Think about it. Any cigarette that's left behind, a can, something that was drinking, or for example, a pillowcase, clothing, and say a clothing may have several different spots on it that needs to be tested. There's just a number of things, but say there was 400 pieces of evidence that have to have forensic testing done on it. Think about how long it would take to process that DNA or the forensics. Not everything is DNA. Some stuff is still trace where they have to go and look at and magnify, particles. It is a time consuming process. And not only that, but they also have to do one piece at a time. You can't have 3 or 4 pieces and move from one piece. Like if you're in an office and you're an administrative assistant and you've got, 3 or 4 letters to type up, you could have those letters stacked on top of each other and just type it, move on, right? They can't do that because they can't risk contaminating evidence. So literally everything has to be tested by itself. You have to go over there, pick it up, bring it over here, open it, do whatever pre-test you need to do prior to actually doing the test. It may be just looking at it, seeing, doing some research, but everything has to be done by itself. And then once you're done with the test, you've got to log your results, pack it back up, put it away, clean your area before you can take the next piece out. Thank you, Snow. Have a great day. Hey, Emma. I hope you're doing well. So anyways, where are we going? Okay, so the unsolved homicide of a child often does not have the publicity of a recent missing child. Too many children are left in between worlds. Today, District Attorney in Massachusetts are working with the state and local police as well as families and victim advocates to resolve cases, both old and new. And that might be a part that we might dive into a little bit, is going back to some unsolved old missing person cases, because clearly they're not getting the attention that they need. And can you imagine if all the people in the true crime industry just went back and once a month looked at a cold missing person case and brought awareness to it? And it might spark, some of our viewers are, all over the country and all over the world. And we could literally start helping bring awareness to some of these cases that somebody may say, I remember that. Or spark, or, maybe it was happened, they put it out of their mind and realized they may have had information and didn't realize this case still hasn't been solved, and decides to come forward and speak about the unsolved missing person case, where it could help shine light on it. If the creators out there just committed, if all the true crime creators out there just committed to one unsolved cold case every single month, we might be able to help with some of these cases, truly help. with some of these cases. So I really do hope the YouTube community may consider doing this. I mean, I don't control, I'm definitely going to try to start researching cold missing person cases and bring at least one and discuss it thoroughly on this panel once a month. If I have time to do it more than once a month, then we'll do more than one, or we'll discuss the case a few times. But I really think that despite social media causing extra work for law enforcement, which I don't necessarily believe that's true. I think in some cases, people, law enforcement may be a little too concerned about what goes on online with misinformation or other, which, I just feel they need to stick to that. You can't control the narrative on social media. You can't control the narrative in mainstream media. It's just, they will be consumed as opposed to looking at legitimate stuff, legitimate leads and things of that nature. People don't really, we're allowed to speculate. And to think that we shouldn't speculate is insane to me. I think we all like to speculate. We all like to look at something and give our opinions on what we feel right now. Do those opinions change? Yes. But the idea that we shouldn't speculate, we shouldn't have an opinion. I mean, no matter what newspaper you pick up and read an article, after you're done reading that article, you have an opinion on it. That's just reality. Yeah. Aww. Yeah, we're sorry about that. We want you better. I'm assuming at this point you're at least out of the hospital. Right? I mean, let's hope. Oh wow. So you had some flights, low flights today. I wonder what that's all about, you know? I bet you Buckingham Palace is gorgeous. I saw photos of it. I swear, I want to go over there. Just to, I don't know. I've never been overseas. I mean, hell, I'm outside of traveling here lately. I mean, when I was 14, we traveled to 21 different states. We did this big circle around the United States. It took my family and I about a month to do that. But it was one of the best. And we alternated camping trip. You know, we were younger. So, and I don't even think I was 14. I think I was like 12. And we alternated, camping versus staying at hotels. Cause, camping for an entire month in a tent and all this other stuff it really is hard, especially with two young children. Oh, I've never heard of Jubilees. Is that a creator, or is it just an event that's overseas? Yeah. Yeah, but I don't want to think. Who wants to think about a bucket list? I mean, I'm 42 years old. And the idea of creating a bucket, I know you should always be prepared, right? You should always be prepared. You never know what tomorrow holds. But I guess I'm going to have to start making a bucket list. I really do. I think that's probably what I'm going to have to do is make a bucket list. You're crazy. Oh, then I went to, many of you guys know, I went to my cousin. He had his reception. It was just last week. What was it, 21st, I think is what it was. It was Saturday. It was the 21st. I actually made a video. I never posted it. I made a video out there talking about, how wonderful it is to be with my family. And it brings me back to Summer Wells, her not being with her family, her not having a family or a family network like I do with my aunts and uncles and my mom. And so it's like every time, I don't know why, but it's like every time I'm doing something, I'm at an event, or, something as simple as washing dishes or sitting down and eating dinner or hanging out with my friends, it brings me back to little baby Summer and about how she never had that. She never really had that. And even though I had a lot of childhood trauma growing up, it pales in comparison to that poor baby. And and then of course, because I have to make thumbnails for these programs and stuff, and, we have like a million different photos of Summer, I think the most heartbreaking is when I look at her, what she looked like before she left, or before she disappeared rather, and how she was just, 12 months to 9 months prior to that. It's heartbreaking for me, the change in her body. She seemed a lot more slender. She seemed a lot more pale. She had her hair all, shaved off. She looked to me like she was recovering from cancer. She was not the baby girl that was on this poster. That's, like, this is not the picture. This is not how she looked when she disappeared. It's not. And it breaks my heart because she deserved better. I don't know how to explain it other than that. She just deserved so much better. And it was, Jubilee, nice word, meaning happy times everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, we do. I have to agree with that. Yeah, and I think people don't think about that. Tomorrow's not. We all know, but we never believe it's going to happen to us. And I think, when I was younger, I remember always hearing that you never believe it's going to happen to you until it happens to you. You need to prepare, this, that, and the other. And it's hard because you sit there and you try to prepare, but you don't want to think about those types of things. But all over, and it was crazy because many of you guys know I talk about my best friend that passed away. He passed away here. He had to be shipped to a different state for his funeral. And I almost broke down today because my original Facebook was taken away. I woke up one day, it had been hacked, and somebody literally removed the entire page. It wasn't done by Facebook because I didn't do anything wrong. It was somebody literally locked me out of my account and changed the phone number. So even when I tried to change the password would go to their cell phone. So I was completely, utterly hacked and locked out of my Facebook. It was very hard for me because I posted everything. I lost the photos, but I posted everything on Facebook because I knew that they had that carousel where they give you the anniversaries. This happened on this day a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So I always thought I could rely on that and never really was concerned about where my photos went because I knew I had Facebook. I was young. When I first opened my Facebook page, I think I was like 18 or 19. So it had all those years of all my memories, all my photos. It had my best friend's funeral and we hung out together. So we had all those photos that we had of each other. Even my son-in-law, when he passed away, I was there. They had every single, it was just, he had a huge funeral. It was absolutely beautiful. And I had all those photos in there, and it was all hacked. Well, this morning I woke up and when I got my new account and stuff, it was already after my friend had passed away, but I went over there and did a friend request anyways. And that was, I want to say a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago. It's been years. And I wake up this morning and I'm getting chills saying this. I wake up this morning and the friend request was accepted. So I finally had access to all those photos of him again. And it almost makes me want to cry because I miss him so much. And it's sad because, me and his girlfriend, she was with him at the time when all this happened, when he met his demise, and it was very hard for her. And she looks like she's now thriving. She's got a couple grandchildren. She's doing really well. And her and I talked, after everything, but it just, we gravitated away from each other. I still love her. I still think about her, but it's hard. It's hard for me. I mean, he was my big brother. I mean, really, he really was. He was my big brother. He looked so mean and, but he was just a big old teddy bear. And I tell you what, every time I went over there for dinner, you did not eat a piece of food without saying prayer. If you saw pictures of him, you'd be like, you wouldn't expect it, but like you did not pick up that spoon or that fork and eat or dive into anything until you hold hands and say the blessing, period. Big old tattoos up his neck. He looked mean green and a fighting machine, but he was just a big old teddy bear. Had turned his life over to God. And it was just crazy. And of all things, I don't know what that is. I believe things happen for a reason with everything I'm going through. I think it just makes me remember everything I came from. So let that be what it is. Oh, and then talking about COVID, Miss Cher and Dolly both had it. And I need it. I keep saying I need. I might need to change my name to Anita. I think Anita is a great name for me because I need a lot. I need to have time to go through this darn Don Wells interview. I watched it once, but I didn't take notes, and I need to get over to Cher. I need to see how Cher's doing because I don't talk to her on the phone or text with her. Dolly was on his live this morning, and it sounds like he's doing better. He wants, he's going to try to play with his drone and whatever he was talking about on his live this morning. But he looked a lot better. He was looking. There was a couple lives that I saw, that I caught, and he just looked pretty rotten. You could tell he just didn't. Poor guy just didn't feel good. And sounds like he's feeling a little better. So, I'm glad he's feeling better. I'm praying that Cher's feeling better. I hope everybody that has been sick and suffering all feel better. You guys are getting a virtual hug from Bullhorn Betty. Yeah, and I'll never get it back. I mean, that whole entire account is official. I mean, it's gone. I can't find it. I don't know if they just deleted the whole thing. But it was literally my entire life from the age of 17 to, I think, when was it? Maybe I was 18 or 19. I can't remember how old I was when I got, because I just can't remember. It's been so many years. But it was literally my entire life from a young teenage to, just becoming an adult on up to, I think it happened after I was married. So it had to have been about 30. It was quite a bit of stuff, and a lot of stuff in those days happened. There was a lot of stuff. Maybe it was good because there was a lot of stuff on that Facebook that I'm not too happy with anymore. Right? I used to go out a lot. I used to do a lot of stupid shit. I was young, dumb, and I just didn't have any common sense. But it was nice seeing that. I'm thankful that I now have access to his pictures, but it was still a little bit of melancholy because it's like, now I miss him just that much more. I don't know if that makes sense. Yep. Exactly. But back in the day, they didn't, like now they have those password generators, password store programs that are encrypted so people can't hack them and get your passwords, and they create passwords for you and they'll always be there. Back when we first started this internet, nobody could have ever dreamed that, one, the internet would become what it is today, but two, that passwords, because if you guys remember, when we first started out, we could have like a 3-letter password. And then it became like a 4-letter password, then a 5-letter password. Some of these people are now requiring 12 letters, 12, not just necessarily letters, but 12 items, like letters, numbers, and special characters. Back in the day when we first started, we could do our initials, and that would be sufficient for the passwords, and just it's not like that anymore. Yeah. Yeah. There's people that are just a lot smarter than us. They understand this internet, and like that's just something I don't know. Like somebody's asking me, have you looked at metadata? What the hell is metadata? What the hell? Yeah. I didn't even know what an IP address was until just a few years ago. Like I'm clueless. So in the long run, we have about 200 people, or excuse me, a little under 100 kids that have disappeared from Massachusetts, and I guarantee it's not just like that in Massachusetts. And I am just, it terrifies me to think how many children we truly do have missing in this country if one state alone has almost 100 in 6 months. And I remember when we went out looking for Paola Miranda Rosa, that was one of the things law enforcement said, is that they only have like 3 people, 2 to 3 people in these missing persons departments of the sheriff's department. And Osceola County and Orange County are pretty large counties in Florida. And to think that they have 1,000 people a month that are reported missing, 1,000 people a month just in those 2 counties. And that's why it's so important when somebody goes missing that you keep their name in the spotlight so they don't go to the bottom of the list. And people don't understand that. 1,000. If anybody has a ream of paper, we all have printers. You know what a ream of paper is. You stick 2 of those reams together. Each one of those pages represent one missing person. That's just for 1 month. It's insane. I know. Now, all of them are requiring, and all of them are, I think, now requiring area codes, because I recall that Verizon just sent a text. I want to say it was about a year ago, maybe less, letting us know that we can no longer just type in the number. We have to use the area code. It was never like that before. Right. Hey, you know what? I bet you they didn't have any computer problems. Right? They call their kid. I can't get this up. Probably could fix it across the country. Yeah. 94. This article just came out on May 25th. Yeah. But see, these young teens that are unhappy in homes are, believe it or not, more of a target than the young children. I know there is a market in whatever that is out there, but it's a much smaller market than these teenage kids that they can manipulate. And it's just it's I don't want to say easier, but it is with these younger teens that want to be independent. They hate life. They have somebody that's paying them attention. They have somebody that's I don't know, when you take care of somebody, love them, some of these people, they don't have that. And so they gravitate, no matter how bad these people are, they feel like they're part of something. And it's easier, in my opinion, to traffic a young teenager than it is a child, because unless the parents are involved, of course. But yeah, I don't know. But it's get this, it's like the more I've only been doing this stuff, on YouTube and researching other cases. Before it was just, when families reached out to me, I, look into it and whatnot. But now that we're on YouTube, it takes time. You got to keep having content relevant to your audience and things of that nature. It's a little bit different. But I never seen anything so concerning in my life. I really haven't. The idea that these children are it's like we have an attack on our kids in this country, and I don't know where it's coming from. But something is fueling this. I don't know. I feel like something's going on. It's too much. You're hearing about all these parents, and I have to think it has a lot to do with the substance issues that we have in this country. I really do. It is a world issue. It is a world issue. Absolutely. And that is a good point. But you know what? There's also another side to that, is that every time anybody goes missing, that's the first thing that they think about. And they try to, guide the conversation to that. And then we're finding out that it's really not trafficking. It is actually somebody has met their demise. Somebody has killed them. And while many people are over here looking this way, the person's getting away this way. And so it's one of those things. It's rotary phones. Oh my gosh. I bet you they are, and not to get off the subject, but I bet you those are now in like those history museums. I used one as a kid. I don't know if kids these days would even know how to use that. I never thought in a million years those words would be coming out of my mouth, right? It makes me feel old when I say stuff like that. I now understand. They all understand. And there was a conversation about, because I listen to Spirit FM. It's all I listen to in my car. It's a Christian music thing, but they have great music. It's not that stuff that makes you fall asleep. It's poppy. It's hip. I love it. So I listen to it. And one of the broadcasters on there was talking about the maps and how important, an actual map. When you went on family vacation, the person in the front seat that had the map was responsible for telling the driver where to turn. And you know what? The way he was describing it about how important that job was, I remember that. I remember being the person in the passenger seat with the map, having to look at what exit we needed to turn on. And Lord have mercy if you screw up or get sidetracked and have a conversation and you drive right past your exit. You could go 50 miles out of your way, no problem. And then realized what you did. And it could cost time, gas, money. So it was, but that whole, the way he explained it, the importance of it, it just rang so true, because I remember how important that job was. And it also kept kids, believe it or not, busy doing something constructive instead of fighting in the back seat and, throwing food on each other and whatever. But, I don't think kids these days would even know where to begin. If their phone broke and they had to go to the store and get a map, do they even know how to read a map anymore? Is that even taught in school? I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been in school. Yeah. You messed up one number. You had to start over again. Yes. But it was the clink, 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 clink. Like these people now just or just go to their contacts and hit one button and they're calling it. And we literally do second number, do third number, right? Well, I'm starting to feel it. I'm as young as I feel, right? Well, I miss that sound. I know. I wonder if they make, because we do a lot of videos and stuff. I'll have to go look. And see if they make a sound effect. They have to have a rotary phone sound effect. My imitation of the rotary house phone. I do work. I do work hard. I haven't studied. I've been out of the mix of law. That's why it sucks, because every time I have to go, like, especially other states, I've got to go through like almost a boot camp of 5 months of studying the rules of civil procedure in that state, the uh, rules of court procedure in that county or district. I mean, it's a lot to do, and I mean, once you're educated, you never lose the education. It's because I've only dealt with Florida. Like Florida law, I will never, outside of the rules of court rules of procedure, for that specific court. I really don't need a whole lot of stuff, but like even this stuff that's going on in different states that I have to address, I've got to do a lot of work. I got to read a lot of books. And again, why I don't have time to play on these troll accounts and troll people like they think I do. It's insane. I'm off the subject. I don't need to. Oh no. And we thought it was, remember when we thought it was cool that we had a different style phone. Remember the phones with the cords, but they now have the numbers on them that you just push. But even those, like, right, they weren't quiet. They weren't quiet. It's not like your cell phones today where you push a number and nobody even knows you're calling somebody. Even the rotary phones were loud. But so were the new phones. I don't know if you guys remember. Remember the cool phones that lit up different colors? I thought I was the richest person in the world because for my birthday, got a phone that was clear, and every time it rang, it lit up a color. And I just thought that was the coolest thing in the entire world. You guys remember those phones? The clear house phones, yes. Absolutely. Those were the funnest phones. I don't know. I mean, I was happy when people called just so I get to see the colored light ring. If I had one of those phones now hooked up, like does anybody even have landline phones anymore? Or have they become extinct yet? Yes. And that's funny that you say that, because it come with the shorter cord, like as if it was standing on the counter. But as teenagers, we had to go out and buy the big cords from the jack to the phone, right? The long cord, so we could actually pick up the phone and talk to it. Or we had to get the long spiral cord that was extra long. I went for the cord in the wall to the phone, the longer cord in the wall, because I could not stand when the cord would tangle up. It would be like one big knot. And the longer the cord was, the longer it took you to untangle that knot. So I actually had the really long cord that was attached to the wall, and I'd pick up the phone with the phone and just walk around with it. And then shortly after that, we get the spiral, we get the cordless phones that cost a freaking arm and a leg to have. But then you could just have the phone, it'd be hooked in on the table, and you could just walk around the whole house unless you went out of range. And I can't remember the range. I think when they first came out, the range was like 10 feet. You got further than 10 feet, you go. 8-track player. I remember those too. They were phasing their way out as I was a young child. Like I think I remember those big block looking things you had to plug in. But shortly, I remember those. I remember the records. I remember those. But then shortly after that came the cassettes. Anissa, are you in here? If you are, can you drop let me see if I can. I know there's a link. I think it's in the description of this. It might not be. Hold on. Let me just see what I can do. Let me pull this back real quick. Beach Boys. I love the Beach Boys, but I had theirs in a cassette. Actually, I think my mom had the Beach Boys on vinyl, to be honest with you. I wonder what happened to all that vinyl. It's got to be worth something, right? It's got to be worth something. I mean, those things, I don't know. Are vinyl coming back? I heard some possibly vinyl coming back. She already did? Oh, there it is. Okay, Anissa already posted the membership. Thank you. Thank you, love. I was just about to look it up. So, and just coming down here, let's just finish up this article and then we'll get back on the stuff. Spoiler alert, Wendy's is coming out with strawberry ice cream next week. Oh, thank you, Anna. Thank you for becoming a member. And you know what? I didn't realize this, but did you guys know that there's membership milestones on YouTube where you guys can actually use your membership milestone to have a comment that comes up in the chat? I didn't know that, but apparently somebody, sorry, that little hair out of place. Somebody was saying that in the in another chat that I was in, that there's a milestone where you guys can go and click and show that you guys have been a member for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, you know, those types of things. And you can actually write a comment that posts in the chat that will be highlighted. So I thought that was pretty interesting as well. Dream big. Nice to see you. I worked hard on making sure I didn't screw up your name again. Yeah, but I remember my mom, you know, in our house, my mom had like a whole closet. Like we had a big, huge living room and it had a fireplace and it had those two, like one on one side of the wall, one on the other side of the wall, like closets. And I remember one side of the wall in the closet, we had the record player and like all the shelves were filled with vinyl. I mean, all kinds of vinyl. And I am so curious what happened to all those vinyl, you know, all that vinyl. I think those were some pretty interesting, you know, records. I can't even remember what they were because I was so young. And we went to cassettes, and I had every single. I remember having a whole little shelf, just cassettes. And then after that came the CDs. Now you don't even need that. Nice to see you, Pink Phoenix. Thank you, love. Thank you for the super sticker. That is funny. That's some funny stuff. That's what I heard. I heard some people. I heard there's record stores opening in certain areas. I just happened to hear it on the news. I didn't pay much attention to it, but that's what I heard too. But I do know we had the Beach Boys. I still remember when it was a dime to use the payphones. It wasn't always a quarter. Now I think when you go use the payphone, it's $1 if you can find one. They don't, you know, what do you do in an emergency when your phone is dead? Like you got to wave down people. Can you help me? There's nothing out there to help you anymore. Those payphones were good. I remember in my teenage year, actually I was probably younger than a teenage year. Every time I need something, I'd go to a payphone and call if I was out, you know, with friends or whatever. There was literally payphones on every single quarter that you could use. There was no way that you could not. And do you guys remember back in the day, they actually had the number on those payphones and you could call a person and they could call you back. You just read them the number on that and you could literally sit by that phone and get phone calls back and forth. You'd call them once, say, here's the number, call me back. I'll be here back in an hour, call me back. And you never have to pay for a call again because you just tell them when you're going to be at that payphone and they just call the payphone and it would ring. Hi, Patricia. Hope you're doing well. $0.10 a minute. Yeah. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. I bet you those are worth some money. Bet you those are worth some money. Because it's like antique, antique stuff. People pay a lot of money for that. My best friend, she loves old antique stuff. She's got all kinds of stuff her own family built, and solid stuff. They just don't make furniture like they used to. They really don't. I know. I know, that is hilarious. Oh, and that brings me to an episode, and I'm sorry, I'm going on a major tangent this morning, but it's fun talking about other stuff, right? But I've been watching, my downtime. I don't want, many people know I don't watch TV. Well, here lately, I just need to unplug and just kind of get out of my head. And I can't do that at home alone with no noise. So I've been turning on the burn notice. No, it wasn't the burn notice. I started with Psych. I'm on the burn notice now, but it was Psych. So I listen to it even at night because, sometimes my brain just goes and goes and goes, and it makes it hard for me to fall asleep. But I find if I fall asleep with the TV on, I don't have those problems. So long story short, I'm watching Psych, and it's about the cell phone. So gosh, what was the girl's name? It was one of the detectives, the girl that he has the crush on that he ended up marrying at the end. I can't remember her name. Anyways, they were working a case, and she was, trying to lose weight and stay focused on I guess her weight loss, and had a trainer. And so she had her cup, and she put on there, "Don't stop." I can't remember. She put a note on her drink. And so Psych, the guy, why can't I remember any of these names? Like when I need to remember people's names, I forget. It just completely goes out. Golly, we got Gus. What's the main character's name? Somebody help me here. Anyways, he was Sean Spencer. That's it. Sean Spencer. So he decides to get on this elliptical to work out. Well, he sees this note basically saying, "Don't let your blood pressure or your speed drop below this." And it's what she wrote on there to keep herself engaged and to keep going and going and going. Well, there's a light beeping, like a colored light beeping in the inside of the elliptical, almost like a bomb. And of course, they're Psych, they're doing this detective type of work. So he thought there was a bomb planted there, and there wasn't. And he's running on this thing. And she goes over there, and she's like, "Sean, I wrote that on my cup. Nobody brought that here." And she reaches in there. It's like, "What's this light blinking?" She reaches in there, and it's the cordless phone. It's the cordless phone. Yes. It's crazy. It's crazy. What's going on here? Yeah. Or the big the car phones where people thought they were a big shot, but don't forget about the bag. When the first cell phones came out, you had this huge battery pack and this bag, and your phone was huge. And then they went from that to just having the big phone with the antenna on it. I remember all those because my dad had all of them. It's crazy. Let's see what we got here going on. Where's I'm not doing it? Hold on a second, guys. Trying to do something. Not open it. I must have something open somewhere else. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay. Oh boy. I'm still getting used to I don't know what I did. I'm still having a hard time. I got to be honest with you. I'm still having a hard time with this whole I guess I'll do it over here. This whole MacBook Pro. I'm still learning all the stuff that needs to be learned. Oh, apparently. So you guys, what are you guys having just over in the UK? You guys are having, is there a reason why they're flying the planes all over there? Is there something going on, or are they just doing it because it's it's like training or protecting? Is something going on that's making it happen? No, I have not watched Ozark. Yeah, that's what I'm choking on right now. Like literally, that's it. That's why I say what I say. That is exactly the truth. That is exactly the truth. Guys, don't forget to go out and like and share and subscribe to this page, but please give me a thumbs up. Oh, okay, so that's what it is. I remember somebody saying they were hearing about the Jubilee, and I thought it was some kind of creator on here. So the Queen's Jubilee that's going over there, and I guess the planes and stuff are watching over, or are they like putting on a show, or is it just for 70 years that Queen Elizabeth has been on the throne? Right or wrong? Question mark. Yeah, 70. So Karen's saying celebration of Queen Elizabeth being queen for 70 years today. Wow. 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 That's quite a feat. I don't know. I guess coming from America, I don't know if I would like just one person. I guess that's a good way to stop dramatic changes from going on, is to have one person in charge. I know that their setup is much different than ours, so I don't quite understand it because I'm an American and we only know about the American way and whatnot. But I don't know. I'm sure she's earned it. I'm sure she's been a great queen, but I don't know how I'd feel about somebody having that much control for that many years. Like, I guess change would have to come slow, which in reality, it might not be a bad thing. Might not be a bad thing. But what happens if it is? I mean, what happens if things aren't going? It seems like that no matter, I don't know. She's the head of the state and of the Church of England. Gotcha. I like tradition. Yeah. That is symbolic these days. Yeah, I agree with that. The laws are made by the Congress too. Okay, well, that makes sense. Hey, Melody, hope you're doing well. Yeah, that makes sense. So, anyways, guys, it's been a lovely chat this morning. I love it. I love it. And yes, we've had some drama over the last week. We're going to keep the drama out of this channel, and it just doesn't do any good to bring it in here. And it was a lesson learned, if that makes sense. It was a lesson learned because, this was a big eye opener for me as to what just recently happened. And I think more so that the fact that somebody would intentionally put these wheels in motion, and I don't know why. And, but we're going to stay out of it. And like I said, until I get, and I don't think it's going to be one of those things, but we will get to the bottom of this. I really do believe it's just going to take a little more work, and it's going to take a lot more money than I'd like to deal with. But in the end, in the grand scheme of things, I'm tired. My family's tired. My everybody's just tired of the nonsense. And I think at this point, I'll give it a couple days. I've got to cover my ass, though. I really do. I have to cover my ass and make sure that this does not happen to anybody ever again. And so what we are going to do is we are going to get to the root cause of what has been going on and why I have been a target of so much hate. And I think it starts with one person and finding out who they are. So with that being said, again, this is the last time this channel is going to talk about burnt toast. And she will not be exposed on this channel until I have a court order in my hot little hands of who she is. So I didn't want to have to go down this road. I tried every amicable way I can to tell her to back off, that I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. And she has every single excuse why she has to bring innocent. I'm an innocent person, folks. This idea that I'm not an innocent person, what did I do so wrong that deserves this kind 6 months of my family going through this and me going through this and my subscribers going through this? They think that this is a game on YouTube. Like they are like, we're going to take them down. Like they think this is sink that battleship game. This is people's lives. It's people's lives. And if you want to review somebody, that's fine. I've got no problem with Burnt Toast reviewing me. The problem is she isn't just reviewing me. She has tried to destroy everything I am. She has tried to destroy everything I will be. She has called and had people do articles and put me on my news over something she knew was bullshit. And she did it with malice. She has put my family and my friends through ungodly trolling. She did that. And while she may not be the person that physically did that, she put all this in motion. And while they want to blame me, and I'm going to say this for all the people that are just coming in, because this was my exit when I was leaving this page. And although they want to blame me for everything that happened to Hannibal, Monty, and Tish, and who I perceived was Ann, they're like, oh, well, she hung up on Tish. I called her Ann. You guys have seen every single video. I didn't know her name was Tish. And quite frankly, I thought she said bish, which means bitch. So I hung up. But they don't care about that. They don't care about what my family has gone through because of her. They only care about what their family has gone through because of what they perceive I did. Yet it wasn't me that put these things in motion. It was somebody in their own chat, one of their own friends, one of the people that they communicate with on a regular basis, because it seemed like that based upon the way that they were all chatting in their chat last night. And for those that are just coming in and say, what are you talking about? Let me show you. Oops, let me get to my page. Hold on a second. Let me go through my page. Oops. I just found it awfully funny that they are sitting here saying, Bullhorn Betty did this, Bullhorn Betty did that. But this didn't start until Bullhorn Betty started posting about my family. Well, look at this. So this was in their own chat last night. They're all chatting it up with this person. And guess who put out the very first video? Look at that. I was trolled, they were trolled, and they're trying to point the finger over here. I think this was a well-orchestrated hit that I fell right into. It was my own fault, but I don't want to hear them say it was Bullhorn Betty, knowing damn well. And not only that, but they never even addressed the fact that this person that created the very first video was in their chat chatting it up last night. To me, that was wrong. But they had no problem, yet again, telling their audience it was me. I've never emailed them. I've never emailed their daughter. I've never made a phone call. I made 2 posts, 3 posts, including my live, expressing everything that they said last night on their channel about what happened to them. I have told the world has been happening to me for 6 solid months. And nobody gives a damn on their side But they have no problem having shit stirrers on their side, creating even more feuds. This wasn't our people that did this. This wasn't our people. This was theirs. So we are done with that topic of conversation. Oh, listen to the voices behind the walls. I hope you're doing well. I haven't done anything I was supposed to do. I haven't. I told you 2 days ago I was going to review that thing again and get the questions over to you. Share. I haven't done it. I haven't done it. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know where it came from. But I just thought it was awfully funny that nobody addressed the fact. They kept saying, oh, till she started posting, none of this happened. Well, it wasn't me. And I just found it awfully funny that somebody is in their chat with the same damn name. So I don't want to hear any more about it. I don't want to hear any more pointing fingers at Bullhorn Betty until you look at your own people, folks. Not you, them. Because that's versus them, right? I mean, that's what all this is all about. Because it's a fucking game. Excuse my language. It's just irritating. Oh, well. Either way, I've got to start getting ready, folks. It's already 12. I've got a 2 o'clock appointment. And again, like I said, hopefully we will see. You know, we will see what goes on. But at this point, I'm kind of done with I'm kind of done with it. And I'm just ready for it to be over. So whatever it takes to finally put an end to this, I'm going to do. Whatever they tell me to do, I'm going to do. However much it's going to cost, I'm going to pay. Whatever it is. If it costs me 10 grand to get this nonsense to stop, then it costs me 10 grand to get this nonsense stopped. But I promise you, this is going to be handled. I've had it. I've had it. So hopefully it's not going to be that bad. I'm hoping that, you know, I know this is going to get expensive for me, but again, the next time I come back here and tell you who Burnt Toast is, I'm going to have a court order with her name on it. And you guys will see it in paper because I have had it. And I literally am just over it. I just can't handle anymore. And if she wants to keep pushing the issue, she deserves what she's going to get. And that's not a threat. She doesn't want her identity exposed. And by what she's doing, she's giving me the ammunition to go to court to have her identity exposed. So, Burnt, last time I'm going to ask you, leave me alone. You've reviewed the hell out of me. There's nothing left to review. Move the fuck on. Seriously. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm not going after you. I'm not going after your people. I'm not having nothing to do with you. I think you're the biggest piece of shit on YouTube. I think you're a despicable woman that hides behind a freaking piece of bread. And I want to make sure that this never happens to any more people on YouTube again. And again, if I have to sell my house to find out who you are and plaster your name all over YouTube, I will do just that. I don't want to do that. Do you understand me? But don't you flippin' dare cry victim when it happens. Now I'm done. God bless each and every one of you. Go make it a great day. And don't forget to be fearless, folks.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.